If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably think you know me. You know the girl who vlogs, goes to work, travels, cooks, spends time with her family, and occasionally disappears from YouTube for a while, and then comes back pretending nothing happened. But today, I thought I would actually introduce myself proper. Because sometimes you can watch someone online for months and still not really know them. You know what they choose to show you. And honestly, I think that's what makes getting to know someone interesting. Not just the obvious things like their name, their age, where they come from, or what they do for a living. I want to know the things that probably couldn't come up if we were there meeting for the first time. The things that make me who I am, the random things, the embarrassing ones, the ones I have opinions about for absolutely no reason, and probably some things that will make you say, wait, like, really? Yeah. So while I get ready and cook, let me properly introduce myself. My name is Shee, and I think one of the hardest questions someone can ask me is, tell me about yourself. Because what exactly do you want to know? Do you want the professional version, the family, the version with my friends, or the version where I am completely alone? Because all of those versions are me, but they are not exactly the same person. And I think that is the one thing I have come to understand about myself. I am a lot of different things at the same time. I can be very social, but I also love being alone. I can be confident, but I also overthink a conversation for 3 days. I can be very independent, but I also love being taken care of. I can be very ambitious, but there are also days when my biggest achievement is simply getting out of bed and making food and surviving the day. And I think sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to just be one thing. I used to think that I had to figure out everything or exactly who I was. Now I think I'm allowed to be a work in progress. But let's start with something very important. I am actually a very big overthinker. And I don't just mean thinking about important things. I mean I can replay a conversation from years ago and suddenly decide that I maybe should have said something differently, completely different. Sometimes I'll be in the shower having a conversation with someone who is not even there. And in my head, I am winning the argument. Don't tell me anything. The problem is that the argument happened 3 years or even months ago. So clearly, I am doing extremely good at overthinking. I also think people assume that because I create content, I am naturally very outgoing, and I understand why people think that. I literally sit in front of a camera and talk to strangers in the internet, but in real life, I can be quite reserved. I can be. I don't always walk into rooms and immediately start talking to everyone. Sometimes I'm quietly observing. I'm watching how people interact, figuring out the energy in the room and stuff. And then once I am comfortable, you'll probably wish I had stayed quiet because suddenly I'll have a lot to say. I think I'm one of those people who takes a while to fully open up, but once I do, I really do. I love conversations that go beyond, so what do you do? I want to know what you believe, what changed you, what you're scared of, what what is something that you've never told anyone? What kind of life are you trying to build for yourself? Those are the conversations I actually enjoy. And maybe that is why I love YouTube so much because I get to share parts of my life that sometimes are very ordinary. But someone else watching can relate to them. Like cooking a meal, like getting ready to work, trying to save money, having a bad day, trying to get your life together and then realizing that you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. That has basically been my experience of my 20s. I feel like I'm constantly saying, okay, this is the year I finally get my life together, and then life says, that's cute, and gives me a completely new problem. But I am learning. I'm learning that adulthood is not this point you reach where suddenly everything makes sense. You can have a job and still not know what you're doing. You can have goals and still feel lost. You can be happy and still want your life to change. You can be grateful for what you have and still want more. And I think that is something I am learning to be okay with. I do not want to pretend that I have everything figured out just because I am filming a video. No, I don't. I have goals, I have dreams, I do have plans, I have things I'm working towards. And also, I have days where I am just trying to figure out what I'm doing next. But maybe that is the most honest conversation of getting to know me. I am ambitious. I am ambitious, but I am also tired sometimes. I want a very beautiful life for myself, but I also want a peaceful life. And I think there's a difference. I don't just want to look successful. I want to actually enjoy my life. I want to be able to wake up and not constantly feel like I am running late for a life I am not even enjoying. I want to travel. I want to experience new things. I want to make memories. I want to build a career I am proud of. I want to be financially comfortable. I want to take care of the people I love. I want to grow this channel. I want to look back one day and know that I really didn't just survive my 20s. I actually lived them. But I also have a very funny relationship with my goals and my dreams. Because sometimes I am very extremely motivated. I am making plans, writing goals, creating vision boards, planning my future. And then suddenly I'm lying in bed thinking, maybe I should just move to the countryside and disappear. And honestly, both versions of me are okay and are real. I think I've always been someone who wants a lot from life. But I also want the simple things. I want a good food. I want good food. I want a clean home, a peaceful mind, people I can laugh with, music playing in the background, a good conversation, a life that feels like mine. And I think my definition of success has changed as I have grown older. When I was younger, success was mostly about what I could achieve. Now, I also think about how I feel while achieving it. Because what is the point of having everything you wanted if you're too exhausted to enjoy it anyway? And speaking of things people may not know about me, I'm actually very sentimental. I remember very small things. I remember conversations. I remember how people made me feel. I can keep something because someone gave it to me years ago, even if the thing itself is completely useless. I also think, and I think that is probably why I attach meaning to so many things. A song I can remember. A song can remind me of a specific period of my life. A place can take me back to a completely different version of myself. Sometimes I will hear a song and immediately remember who I was when I first listened to it, which is honestly very um, inconvenient because now I cannot casually listen to anything. Everything has a memory attached to it. I also think I have become much more protective of my peace, and I know that and I know that sounds like something everyone says on the internet, but I mean it in a very practical way. I don't want to argue with people, anyone. I don't want to explain myself to everyone. I don't want to keep forcing conversations that no longer feel right. And I don't want to spend my time trying to convince people to understand me. Sometimes we just have to accept that not everyone is going to get you, and that is okay. Because I don't want everyone to get me either. There are people I meet and immediately think, you seem lovely. And there are people I meet and immediately think, I think we should go our separate ways. I think that is okay too. One thing I'm still learning is that growing up also means accepting that you are going to outgrow for certain versions of yourself, and sometimes that can feel strange. You look back at who you were a few years ago and think, I don't even recognize that girl anymore. But then you realize that girl was still part of the journey. She got you here. Even the version of you that made mistakes, even the version of you that stayed too long, even the versions of you that didn't know better. You don't have to hate who you used to be just because you have grown. And I think that is something I have had to learn the hard way. I'm not the same person I was years ago, and I don't think I'm supposed to be. I am still changing. My opinions change, my priorities, the things I want change, and sometimes even the versions of myself I thought I was becoming change. But I think that is curating or the most exciting part of life. I don't actually know exactly where I want to be in 5 years. And for the longest time, that used to scare me. Now, I find it exciting. Because if I already knew everything that was going to happen, life would be incredibly boring. So if you're watching this and you're also in your 20s and you feel like you're supposed to have your entire life figured out, I just want you to know that you don't. And I personally don't. I am not sure anyone really does. Some people are just better at looking like they do. And I'm still figuring out what kind of life I want for myself. I know some things. I know I want peace. I want meaningful conversations and relationships. I want to keep growing. I want to experience more. I want to be proud of the woman I have become. But the details, still under constructions. And honestly, so am I. I think that is probably the best way to end this. If you've been watching my videos for a while, thank you for being here. And if you're new here, I hope this video gave you a little more than just the basic facts about me. Because I'm not just one thing. I am the girl who is very ambitious and still have absolutely no idea what she wants for dinner. I am the girl who wants a soft life, but also somehow creates unnecessary stress for herself. I am the girl who loves deep conversations, but sometimes ignores a message for 3 days because I don't know how to respond. I am the girl who has big dreams, small moments of doubt, and a lot of things to figure out. And I think that is okay because I am still becoming. So now that you know a little more about me, I want to know something about you. Tell me one thing about yourself that people would never guess just by looking at you. Not your age, not your job, not where you come from. Something that actually tells me who you are. And if you're here, welcome to Shee Diaries. I am Shelly, and this is me figuring out life, adulthood, work, dreams, relationship, food, and everything in between. One video at a time. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
When the highs get low, I ain't your maybe. Tell me what it is, 'cause I'm way too grown to be messing with a love like this. I give you love, but you're rushing yours. You open up just to close the door. You stay closing doors. I stay up late trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Changing all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? Why you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? You say you need your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold. Got me second guessing what I already know. I give you love, but you're rushing yours. You open up just to close the door. I stay up late trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? You hit me up when the nights get slow, but then disappear when the highs get low.